Not everybody has as much access to indoor courts in the winter as they would probably like. They're expensive, some places just don't have as many, but there are actually a lot of places where you can still play outdoors in the winter. And in this video, I'm going to show you what to consider to get the best out of your winter tennis. The balls are dead. And to an extent, yes, that is true. Even if I gave you brand new balls, if it's 40 degrees, like it is today in Colorado, the balls don't bounce the way that they do in the summer. So that is the first thing that you have to just, well, take into consideration and deal with. Here are a few things just to counter that right from the get-go. Number one, don't leave your tennis balls in the car or your garage. Take them inside where it's at least hopefully reasonably warm. And the other thing is, don't leave your rackets in the car either. That's not good for your strings, which brings us to the next thing. When it's getting colder, everything constricts. And that happens with your strings as well. So in the winter, you might want to consider getting your racket restrung if you're playing in lower temperatures and just have less tension on the racket. In the summer, we go up with the tension because that helps us prevent the slingshot or the trampoline effect, which is actually something that we can use to help us in the winter when we lose power just because of the lower temperatures. In the winter, it's going to be a lot more difficult to create heavy topspin, to create really heavy bounces on your opponent's side of the court. So the tactical decisions that you want to make are a little different than in the summer. Get used to the lower game of tennis. And what that means is you're probably going to use your slice a whole lot more, and it's perfectly fine to use it on the forehand as well, because number one, it's easier for you to get under the ball, especially when you're being moved up, but you're also keeping the ball really low in addition to the not great bounce anyways on your opponent's side, and you pull them in. Your court position might have to change a little bit, whereas in the summer, you might be happy back here and rolling heavy balls. In the winter, you might have to crouch up to the baseline a little bit more because the majority of the balls will land a little shorter and again, do not bounce up at you. Your own shots will absolutely lose depth. And instead of trying to hit harder to get more depth, aim higher. Again, in the summer, you may have as a range 1 to 2 feet over the net, which I'm still thinking is probably pretty low. You want to go 3, 4, 5 feet over the net because that automatically gives you depth. Bundle up. Your first inclination probably when it's really cold is to put a big fat coat on. However, the issue with that is it feels super bulky, and once you get really warm and then you take it off, you're going to get really cold real quick. So here's what you want to do. Wear layers. With layers, you can easily take off and then put back on another layer if it either gets too hot or it gets too cold. And the other thing is vests are a really good option because they keep your core really warm, but your arms are not really restricted. Wear a hat. Even if it looks funny, who cares? Your head actually is the place where you lose most of the heat in your body. So if you keep your head warm with a hat, you stay warmer. Wear a glove, at least on your non-dominant hand. I wouldn't compete with this, but for teaching and just hitting, I don't even know what it's called, a tennis glove. It's really cool because you can actually still change your grip. Make sure you warm up properly. Now, if it's 80, 90 degrees outside, you know, we kind of all think like, man, I'll get warm while I'm hitting. In the winter, that's not a great idea because your muscles, if they're not warmed up, they're really having a much harder time absorbing the shock of the added, what is felt, different weight of the balls. So make sure that you really warm up well. Some overheads, please. Oh, good God. Blinded by the light. An additional tip, if you play in a place like Colorado, use the sun to your advantage. It is low, it's really intense, it is right in your eyes. So maybe when somebody's attacking, throw up a lob a little sooner and a little more often than you would usually. And since the sun is going to be a problem for both of you, wear glasses, glasses and a hat, glasses and 2 hats. Oh no, crap, oh, geese, oh, hat. As I said earlier, it's really important to warm up, and if you want to have a few suggestions on how to do that, check out this video. Plus there's some mental skills tips on how to prepare for your next tennis sessions as well.